Hey guys, Nananki here bringing you another round of Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary. Today I am playing some Huntsman Sniper on Upward, and I felt like this was a round that had both some really good moments and some really bad moments. It had some really teachable moments, good examples of what to do and what not to do if you're playing Huntsman Sniper, and like me, you do not have impeccable aim or psychic powers to predict enemy movement. The best you're left with is trying to assume that they will continue to move in the direction and speed, roughly, that they are moving, and only then can you line up shots like that. If people run in a straight line, you can kind of judge where they're going to be when the arrow gets there. And the arrow does fly fast enough that you don't have to judge too far in advance. And you can see that's what I'm doing with the soldier there. He started moving left. I aimed left about where he would be, roughly. Same thing with the demo, though I didn't get a headshot. But that's what I'm talking about. You just kind of got to lead your target and hope they keep moving in a straight line. And in fact, this is the basis of any projectile weapon in any first-person shooter, and I'm kind of beating a dead horse on this subject because I've mentioned this before, and others have mentioned it. Better commentators than I have mentioned this very thing, and I do not mean to, as I mentioned, beat a dead horse, but it is the quintessential core element of playing sniper. And that guy taunted in front of me, and I was like, well, I will give you a headshot. I will accommodate you. And you're taunting and standing out in the middle of the open with a headshot. Felt like I was on a pretty good roll there and didn't want to stop just because someone had taunted at me. Normally, people who are behaving oddly, I will exempt them from the combat, whether it's a heavy walking around with a sandwich in his hand, refusing to do combat, or whatever the case may be. But here comes the same soldier, out for revenge, and I saw him coming in at me from above, and I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to hit him. I'm going to taunt him the same way he did me. Like, good job, sir. You utterly got me there. And I left him for the medic to kill while he taunted back. So, you know, Team Fortress 2, don't take it too seriously. You know, winning and losing are not the end of the world, but generally you do want to play the objective to at least the best degree you can while still having fun and messing around. It's not fun if everybody is just messing around and no one's taking anything seriously. And I lucked out there. The demo man just kept running forward after his missed swing, and this demo man, I didn't even see the sticky. I never even knew when he stuck it. But it was stuck, and then I was stuck. So on my next spawn, I see this guy just randomly running from a whole bunch of sapped equipment, and I was like, spy? That's a spy. And now he's a stuck spy. So I'm not the only one getting stuck, and right there you may have noticed the audio cut out, and that's going to be the first of like 47 edits I had to do to this because somebody had joined and was kind of mic spamming, and it was a garbly, messed up noise sound effect thing, and I went to mute him and his name changed, and I don't know if he was just griefing or what the case may be, but he didn't seem to be doing anything terribly griefy except for randomly mic spamming garbage, and after asking him couple times to lay off it, he didn't, and I was like, you know what, I'm having too good a round to stop. I'm just going to ignore him and keep playing and edit it out later. So every time he said something, I kind of, in the crazy robot voice, I kind of cringed and was like, oh, there's another edit. Oh, there's another edit. So in the end, like I said, there's like 47 edits in this 11-minute episode of Team Fortress 2. So your ears are not raped by his random mic abuse. But more arrows, more Girardi. I feel like if you're going to play Huntsman Sniper, the Girardi and the Bushwhacka are almost the necessary, if not the best possible secondary and melee item combination. The Bushwhacka, of course, gets full crits where it would normally mini crit, and since Girardi causes mini crits, you get full crits, so 195 damage, and there's another example of predicting where someone is going to be the key to landing good headshots, because I can't aim super amazingly well, but I can tell that that guy's going for the health, and I can take a whole second and a half to line up a shot for above the health. Like, his head should be there, and then you go for it, and hey, look at that, I got him, great. I'm an amazing sniper, like, yes, good times. That's what you're going for, is just having a good time. And this guy got one swing on me, and I thought, well, I'll just kite him around because I had the spy with me, and I'm like, if I just run him in little circles, surely the spy will get him, and I'll just be the distraction. You know, distraction mode activate, no problem. I mean, he was practically giving it to me, but instead, I ended up kiting him into, like, several teammates, and they took him out instead. You may have noticed at this point that the teams have gotten a little bit unbalanced. I think a few people rage quit off of blue, and there's not too much more resistance for the remainder of this round. I'm just kind of firing some random arrows, and you know, we've got this tunnel covered, and I figure, well, this is a good place to hang out because I can pick up some health, and if anybody comes through and I really have a problem, I can retreat around to where the gun is, and there's somebody there, and I'm like, I go for a headshot before the gun gets him, and yeah, I'm not doing any good in the tunnel. So I leave the tunnel, 20 seconds to go, my team has got a strong presence on top of the hill, in the tunnel, in front of the hill, in every direction. I'm like, well, at least I can amuse myself with chasing a spy. That's kind of a benefit to team, you know, kinda. And I guess he got sick of being chased and decided to turn on me there, and I really expect him to try to stair stab me. That little turnabout move wasn't really cutting it. Even on probably what is my best round of sniper I've ever had, I still only placed second. So it goes to show you that a strong offensive class played properly will usually outdo a support class played to the utmost of capability or luck. And speaking of luck, I knew that scout was coming. I didn't expect to get a headshot out of it, but I was like, if he's still running, he'll be there now? Shoulder shrug followed by headshot. Yes! Again, it's difficult to feel super prideful over what is essentially lucky shots, because as this round continues, and you may have noticed I was team swapped due to the lack of population on the opposing team, I am more demonstrate my lack of skill on sniper is demonstrated more plainly and abruptly than I would like, but it's the reverse of the coin. That's kind of the way it goes sometimes. One thing I can do is chase spies. The Girardi is made for that, because even if you kill a dead ringer spy with Girardi on him, the Girardi does not go away. You've only got a little bit of time to try with the dead ringer, and once you're respawned, you're pretty well stuck. I shouldn't say respawned. Once you're coming out of cloak, you gotta fight the sniper, and odds are fairly good you still got Girardi on you. And he's got 25 more health than you do. But yep, again, if you've got somebody who's distracted fighting a teammate, one of your teammates, or chasing a spy or something, you've got a better chance of getting that headshot. And see that moment there with the heavy, if I had landed either of those in his head instead of his arm, maybe I would have lived. But instead, the spy kind of avenged my death. And I put up a valiant defense here in this opening, in this hallway, in this tunnel, as it were. It's not so much a hallway. But it brings me to my next point about sniper, which is confined spaces are your friend. Having an area where you have 360 degrees to run around and no terrain to block you means that it's almost, you've got to get lucky to a degree, at least a 50-50 coin flip, whether someone's going to keep moving in the same direction or not. You know, if you've got two people kind of lined up, you can shoot at both of them and just hope for the best. And I got the achievement there, pincushion, for hitting a heavy with 4 arrows, I believe it is, and not actually managing to kill him. That's another one of those kind of slap-in-the-face achievements, like the achievement for being backstabbed a certain number of times on Sniper. Like, you got an achievement, you have been backstabbed 100 times. Like, thank you? And here's what not to do with Sniper. Charge a heavy who clearly has seen you coming after throwing Girardi on him with some just bizarre plan of, yes, he won't respond to the Girardi because he's so close to spawn, he won't be expecting it, and I'll be able to run in and just melee him and it'll be perfectly fine, sure. That's not going to work out most often, and even if it does, it probably shouldn't have, so you shouldn't assume that it would have. But there's a spy, speak of the devil, and another reason why you should always watch your back, especially when you're playing Sniper. You are the spy target right after medics, and of course medics are so fast and usually surrounded by friendlies that it's a little bit more difficult to go after them, so you will often, at least I will often as a spy, go after the snipers instead because they're a little bit of an easier target, and if you can eliminate the snipers from the game, that frees up the front line to not have to worry about it, and that's an integral part of the interplay of classes and ranges and so forth. Another fine example of having poor aim, but I do manage to do my 164 damage and chase the spy down. Again, if you've already got Girardi on you, it's going to be really, really tricky to get away. It's another example of a time as well where I'm not entirely sure that he didn't manage to dead ringer the second time because he decloaked and picked up the big metal. And you've only got a couple seconds there until your watch is ready again, and I took a second or two to hit him. I took a couple swings. So I don't know, that will remain a mystery, I suppose. Because I'm not going to chase a spy that's not soaked and possibly freshly dead ringered and has multiple possible directions to travel. You know, there's 3 exits from that room. More to the combat at hand, I was more interested in chasing the heavy than watching for threats, and once the pyro was coming, I thought, well, maybe he'll run up the stairs blindly, and I can, like, do some kind of, like, olé, and let him run past me, but no, that was not at all what happened. And here's another spy, but again, followed by the pyro. And in fact, the same thing happens again here in a moment. I managed to shoot the wall, my constant ongoing nemesis while playing sniper, the walls. And, you know, the first Girardi runs out and I throw another one. Like, you will never be free of the urine. And then I get WM1 to death. And after this death, actually, is when the demo file has a glitch in it and it ceases to work right after this respawn cycle was over with. So, unfortunately, that is the end of the round. They got the point very shortly thereafter, and nothing else of great interest happened. So, thank you so much for watching. Do like it if you liked it, and I will catch you next time. Peace.